Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap, reading the auction, understanding the participants' behavior, and then taking advantage of that, looking for opportunities. All right, so risk disclosure, general disclosure is all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so any kind of updates or things to go through here? We can see just a quick look at the order flow in general in Bookmap here. We're looking at the S&P E-mini, and we can see the sideways action here between two areas of high liquidity right off the bat here. And just want to point out to those using Bookmap or new to Bookmap and trying to understand value, it's right in front of you. High liquidity, it trades back down after trading into this high liquidity, and it trades into the high liquidity here on the bid down at 56.20. Okay, so from this 10-point move from 56.30 to 56.20, and this is what it looks like if you don't have that understanding. Okay, this is what it looks like if you don't even know where the volume is transacting in there. You would be looking at something more like this. That's price action, or maybe you're looking at candlestick charts, and you'd be looking at data more like this. Okay, very little transparency into actually what's going on in the marketplace. So just look at candles here, and we'll add in the heat map. Okay, that alone is already giving you tremendous insight of what's going on in the market. Who are these traders on the candlesticks that are these are the market orders here. These are the transactions that move price. It's what it creates the price structure and the candles and the open, high, low, and close for that period is trading up into high liquidity. Okay. So who's taking the other side of that trade? Well, here they are up here. And then they trade back down into this area down here. Okay. Now, they don't even trade down here, actually. If we look at this, I mean, there's obviously transactions happening here, but that high liquidity is pulled right after the cash open, a lot of it, as you can see. However, it still gives you a really good guide as what's going on here. High liquidity, bottom of the range, and high liquidity buyers. Okay, so now let's go through the fundamental event here in the release, and maybe we'll stick with candles today. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you do you want to look at order flow and candles together, or do you want to look at something else? Get into here. All right. Good morning, Hector and Trader. What's this here? Swaps. Okay. Yeah. So we had our 10 o'clock data, as you guys can see here, and the market. Well, we have Powell speaking, and we have that Jackson Hole symposium happening, but obviously Powell speaking is going to be the most important part. Anyway, this is what has happened. The market moved up like this, and look where it went to, 56.50. Okay, now is there high liquidity up in there? There's some in here that was pulled, and there's some in here, but really it was up here at 56.60, and we haven't touched that area. It touched the figure here, and then if we zoom in, actually, you can see some of that liquidity in here. Now, again, this is not really giving us much transparency here by understanding this candle, which is a what is it? A five-minute candlestick. Yeah. So it's open, high, low, and close. But what happened in here is really what matters. So let's turn on the volume dots and also the best bid and offer streaming price. So these are the transactions up into here, and then you see high liquidity up in here, and we can zoom in there and check it out. Yep, some of it transacted in here clearly, some of it was pulled, and some of it transacted up in here as well. Okay, these are people on the offer, they want to sell. The transaction took place between the buyers and the sellers, and then price dropped. All right, so and then look at the behavior here in the auction. Not only did they transact up in here, we have high liquidity up at 60, and then they add in more at a lower level. Okay, we don't find buyers interested. This is where you can gain the insight in here. So do we find the aggressive buyers willing to transact into this high liquidity? And we don't. Okay, we find sellers instead. Okay, interesting insight. Sellers are able to take it back down, and then let's take a look here at what's going on. Okay, now we're finding buyers. Okay, found a lot of buyers take these guys on and trade into them. Okay, they just traded into these guys here as well. Now let's take a look at the condition or the context of that buying and selling up in here. Okay, so look at the exhaustion here, lack of aggressive buyers. We're going to find some sellers. Where are they going to take it? Well, likely we usually look for them to trade back down to where these buyers initiated to see if we get some support here by other aggressive buyers. Okay, and we are right now, you can see that. Or are they going to take it through that area down into the buyers down here at 56.50? Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit closer, and we're going to take the candlestick off. Unless you guys want to go over candlesticks, we'll be happy to go through that. And order flow and candlestick readings. It's a great combo. Okay, right. No, good morning, Vinny. No, nothing on candles. I'd rather go over the spheres. Okay. Yep. Yep. Thanks, Dan. All right. Well, let's see. Let's zoom in here. Let's take a look. Okay. So still kind of struggling on the buy side. They were able to trade up into this liquidity here, but didn't get through it. Let's see if do we get more up here? Okay, we're getting more. Now I'm looking for buyers to trade up and through into 58, 59, and 60. Okay, it's a quick read, but we're looking for it. Okay, and we're still looking for it. Continuation up into these areas. Now we're going to be really careful when we get up into these areas because of the time of day. Let's still looking for this 60 up here. Right now, there's a little bit of exhaustion here, so we're probably going to get a pullback. And the buyers come back in. Okay, let's see it, buyers. You've got it if you want to trade up into these guys. There's some exhaustion on the sell side. There's our buyers. Okay, there's our 59. There's our 60. Okay, great. That's what we're looking for. All right, that was the read. Now we're going to see is there's still more demand. So far, so good. I'm really looking, though, I'm really curious now. I'm looking for some exhaustion after trading up through here, because look at the buying up here compared to in here. So I'm looking for some exhaustion on the buy side and sellers to come in and hit it. And let's see if they can actually get through these transactions here and get back down to maybe this 57.50 here. Okay, there we go. Back down into 57.50. Okay, let's see if they can take it further. Just curious if we're going to find more sellers in here. Now, let's look at the condition of the selling in here. Okay, in here, it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of sellers. So, for me, like the insight is, trying to understand, are we going to get more sellers to come in? We just did, as you can see, but it's not really too clear in here that there's going to be a whole lot of selling in here. We're going to get this move down lower into some of these swings and some of the liquidity down here. Okay, if We compare the relative selling with the relative buying in here. Good morning, Stephen. Anyway, yep, still finding them. All right, so now I bet we're going to find a bounce here. We're going to get some buyers into this area here. This has not been that heavy selling. So I'm looking for buyers to support it down here. Okay, so far we've gotten a bounce back up to this swing here. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher, maybe up into 58 again. You know, there's a few other kind of caveats now. This was an easier read up into these areas here. Now it's becoming a little more complex because we've hit this area of high liquidity. Now we're not seeing a whole lot of selling, but we're not seeing a whole lot of buying in here either. Okay, so not really looking for much right now. Looking for some sideways action for the moment. Okay, and we're going to see now, there's another caveat in here, and that is a time of day. We've been covering and focusing on time of day for the last like week and a half or two. You know, just going over and understanding opening drives from the cash open. And then we had data, or we had the Powell speaking, and then we see the move up. Okay, so it's usually around this time of day, though, that we have a retest back down into these lower levels. Now, we may be bullish for the rest of the day, but it's this time of day that we're looking for, and it's starting to play out pretty nicely. We got a retest back to 60 here, and look at the buying. Now we're seeing heavier selling. All right, sellers should be able to take it down to 50, and then maybe we can even get through that area and trade back down to, well, we have VWAP down here, we have a point of control down here, this is what we're looking for on the 10 o'clock reversal time. Okay, so we've already traded through 50. We're still finding sellers in here, still taking it lower. Okay, down to this swing here. Probably get a little bit of a bounce here, maybe back to retest 50, but selling is pretty relentless here. No, we're not even getting that. We're coming right down into this 40 liquidity here. There we go. All right. So good morning, Rob. All right, now, if you're a VWAP trader, we want to understand the order flow around the VWAP. We're not just, nonchalantly getting in at VWAP. There's going to be a lot of traders that will, but we want to understand is the order flow around this swing, VWAP, and liquidity, and then the buyers and sellers here. Okay, so we can see that the bid is starting to get a little bit stronger here now. Okay, interesting. Okay, enticing here, but not interested yet. Is Rob in here today? Let's see. No. All right. I know Rob Davis. I know you're in here, but looking for Rob. We were going to try to go over his content yesterday in the Bookmap Academy meeting, but didn't. He just bailed actually. He said he had to leave, but we'll go over him next time. And the reason I'm asking here is we're talking about this. He was making a lot of nice content on the opening range breakout trade setup. We've been covering it for a little bit now. Just starting to dig into it, and he's going over that. This is what we find after we traded it like a week and a half ago or so, maybe 2 weeks ago now, had a really nice setup, took some profit out of it, but then we had the reversal, and the reversal came and knocked us out of the trade, and then we were looking for, okay, well, we can get back in, and we're looking for a pullback though. We saw strong buying come back in, and we missed it on the because we didn't get a pullback. Okay, and that happens. So, well, the way that we'll have to we go back, we learn from our mistakes, and then look for trade management principles around some of those mistakes. Okay, so for example, the what we learned from missing that on the pullback. Okay, first off, our first mistake was looking for this big pullback in the open range breakout. Okay, because it almost always does it. I had my stop down pretty low. I thought I'd be able to weather it. I was not, and then the market reversed. And then the second mistake was looking for a pullback, but why didn't we capture it? Well, is because the buying that came back in after that was really strong. There was no pullback. It just didn't do it. So instead, what we got was like heavy buying coming in, big green dots pulling that market up. Not maybe quite this big, but pretty big green dots, and it was so strong that there's no one that's willing to take some profit or sell, and it just, we didn't get a pullback at all, and it just kept going until it reached other levels, and I think it rallied the rest of the day. It was a great trade, and it went right to where we were looking for, in fact, which was it was, I don't know what it was at that day. Was it 54.50 or 55.50? I know it was a 50 number, but we didn't. We hit that target later in the day. All right, so we have not seen those buyers come back in yet. And we broke this, but came back in into this small structure here. Any of you guys using the new trading journal, Bookmap Trading Journal? Show it to you, and I can demo it here. Yeah, in fact, we'll have to jump off of the this instrument here with the Trader Map Lite. We'll have to go back to the regular ES chart so we can trade off of it. And note that we have to deal now with these liquidity bands. Now, we've been promising not only to have stops and icebergs on the Trader Map Pro and Trader Map Lite versions, and I think we already have the on chart stops and icebergs available here. So in fact, I'll just turn them on here, and you will see it immediately over in the Trader Map Pro and Trader Map Lite. So they're just populated in here, and nice iceberg here trailing, as you guys can see. So interested in the market, and now we can jump over here and we see it also on the Trader Map Lite version. They can't get it in the subchart yet, but on chart we got it. The filtering and everything will have to be done here as well, and you can do that. And so I'll use the automatic mode here for both stops and icebergs. So that'll help. All right, this guy just got filled completely for 300 right here. It was at 266 earlier. Interesting to see how he trailed it. Now someone's trailing on the other side here. 112. Getting aggressive. Anyway, we come back up here to the trading statistics. This is where you will use it and sync it with the web journal here. and you click on this to open it. So everyone should have this availability to trading statistics. If you're in the Global Plus version, you'll be able to use it in the live market, but I think with the global version, you'll be able to use it in sim. So open up the trade web journal here after you check the box here. Okay, and then it'll pop up here. This is what it looks like, and you input the dates in here that you want. And just I want to go through some changes in here. There's some really great stuff that need to update you on. Okay, so and we can take a look at, keep current price open here. All right, so a number of different journals that we have a real account in here. Your main trading journal, I made this small range trade journal. We had a competition in here with one of our crypto traders. You can add a new journal in here as well. And then yeah, you've got your total P&L, total wins, total losses, you know, all this good stuff in here. Your ratio, win ratio, your average winner, average loser, and then over here though we have some new items to cover. Okay, so you can click on the trade and open it up, and it gives you you know, some of the data information here. You can add a note in here as well. You can add a note over here. I mean, it will display over here. Now, the three dots over here, if we click on that, you can add a note. You can move this now to another journal. Okay, so just click on move, and then select the journal where you want to move it. Okay, so let's move it over to range trades. This one that I took yesterday. And all right, it moved. And if I go over to that journal now, because I'm looking at all journals right now, right? So if I go to the range trade, and there it is. Right, so anyway, that's how it works. And then let's go to our all journals here, and you can also delete a trade. Okay, now, why would you want to delete a trade? You're maybe testing something. Maybe you in the environment, like you can see, I traded 10 here. This was a very quick trade. I was in it 20 seconds. It was on a move down to the downside. I was pretty sure, so I sized up. It went 4 against me right off the bat, 4 ticks, and then it went 15 for me. And maybe I don't want to, you know, this kind of trade in here. Maybe I don't want to show, like, I try to keep it the way most people are trading. I don't want to show like 10 lots. Maybe I make a mistake. Maybe I put in 100 lots, and then that'll blow out my P&L curve. You know, so maybe you made a mistake or something. You want to delete it, or maybe you want it within another journal and not this journal, etc. Okay, so some nice new features in here though. Okay, you can manage your journals here. You can add the new journal here, and yeah, give us your feedback, please. Okay, you can select certain instruments if you want to just look at the NQ or the ES, for example. Then that's what you get, right? You can see my performance from all of August here so far with the ES. Okay. All, and that will show all. Okay. Anyway, guys, just wanted to cover that. The team's doing some really nice work over there at Trading Journal. All right, do we have any other questions here at the moment? Let's take a look. No, okay. And over in Discord. Hey, Rob. Yeah, no, wanted to go over your content yesterday, and you exited just before. Anyway, we'll go over you next week, and you know, go over the opening range stuff you've been doing. Great stuff. right? And we want to cover kind of the again, I just think it's so important that this is such a simple thing to do. You don't have to read this in a book. You know, you have to learn from you learn from your mistakes, and then you go back and you study these things. How often did you observe that you get this pullback after 10 o'clock? You know, this pretty big pullback. Well, it seems to happen pretty often. Okay, now we anticipate it. In fact, we anticipated it in this example. We traded up into our high liquidity here, and then it traded through a little bit, right? Right here, we were looking right at it. Traded through a little bit, and then we're looking for our sellers at that point around this time. We got them. They came in, and then we came back down to this swing. We see the retest back up here. This is a nice setup right here. High liquidity. It trades. You see a stop run in just above it here as well. This time of day. After that move back up here, look at the trading up here. Look at the buyers. Look at the sellers. It exhausts out. Look at the sellers. Where do they come in and where do they start moving it? Right here. Right where these buyers, we would anticipate them to support it. Sellers are driving it through that area. Okay, we look for the next level of high liquidity as a potential target. Down to the figure 50, it just blazed right through that. Actually, it went through it, retested the backside of it in this small little jag here, and continued on down. It went down into never traded the high liquidity here. That's interesting. It just came back down to just shy of the swing as well. We didn't get it. We didn't get the move. We got VWAP though, right? So let me show you that anchored VWAP. Show our VWAP line. There we go. So it went right to the VWAP. So your VWAP traders justified on that one, and it turned into a really nice trade. Now we were looking for the demand to come right back in here, and we weren't too convinced of it. Not even in here. I'm still looking for a pullback. This is not convincing on the buy side here. It trades into high liquidity. It still transacts. Now we're starting to see more volume starting to pick up in here. It looks more interesting, but this is a tough one to catch unless you're going to buy one of these in here and try to trade it back up into these areas in here. I would be taking profit into some of these areas here, to be honest. But we came back up and retested the swing high, and then now we're going back and forth. We see the sellers come back in. All right, so more sellers now, and pretty strong selling there. Okay. Looking for them again. All right, hit it sellers, looking for them to hit it down into probably about here, or back down into a liquidity that's on the bid down here around this 45 area or so. There we go. Now we got to see more than that though. They got to follow through. Looking for it though. The dance of the sugar plum icebergs. Yeah. They're trailing around all over the place in here. Large icebergs. All right, guys, let's look at a little bit of market structure in here as well. We're starting to break it on the buy side, but we're still in this small since right around 1028 or after 1028, we are in a downtrend. Okay, so we're still looking for that supply and still looking for it to retest back down to maybe this 45 level here. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're still seeing more supply come in, but I'm looking for some reactions in here. To me, this was an easier read back down into 45. Now I'm not so sure. We're down at that was our target here, and now we'll have to kind of reset and then look again here. All right. Well, anyway, like getting back to Rob and some of his content and the checklist we've been talking about in the Bookmap Academy. This is essential to have. So you guys, please keep hitting the checklist. Keep documenting your checklist either in text or in the image on top of the image. We know that this is helping people. Everyone who starts using that checklist does better, okay, because they know what they're looking for, and they have to check it off of the chart or for their setup, right? So they have to see it in here, and then they got it in their checklist. One of the things that like we've been talking a lot about the market timing and integrating that in. So I think this should be part, or potentially could be part of your checklist. Like slowdown, I think that would be a really nice one for you, actually, because you have these really beautiful images, very clear, very concise, and then there's other factors in the marketplace to consider, and market timing is one of them. So again, we talk about these things like think of it as an external or a different study. I keep on using the petri dishes example. So you've got your your range bound trade or your Wyckoff Spring trade. Okay, great. Keep going with that. Do a separate study with a Wyckoff Spring and market timing. Okay, what do you learn from that? What do you get in there? Santoro, are we talking about a specific checklist? Well, I don't. This is the All Markets webinar, and we can go through a specific checklist, but I'm just kind of saying in general in here. Let me show you. Like the developers even put this together for us. The setups checklist right here brings up this window, and by default it has our well, it has the last one that you put in, and I think I put in an ATR study in here, and I did this on the fly during the webinar. We're looking for a specific move, and then we're looking for it to be maybe overextended on the higher time frame, and then we're looking for potential for a reversal. And do we have like a strong bid? Do we have strong volume? Do we have a small pullback? Do we have these things that match what we're looking for? And if so, we can grade them. What is the condition? What is the context of them? And then it puts down a total here, and you're looking for an 8 or better to score your trade. This is kind of what I'm talking about, but you don't have to use this tool if you don't like it. You can use something else. Now you can, if you go to settings in here, you can import and export these. You can modify them. You can make your own checklist in here. No problem. All right. we just put this together because of the grading in here. It's pretty nice. Whereas, you know, if you just have like a checklist and you don't know what the condition is for the grading, maybe that's helpful. All right. All right, so now we know we got a reaction off of this VWAP here previously. Okay, what about now? All right, well, let's take a look. We're going to trade around the VWAP. In fact, I'm going to add another one in here. I'm going to add an anchored VWAP up here. Okay, so now we've just traded through VWAP, right? We would not be buying off of this VWAP here. Okay, this is not enough, but we will look for, can we get back up above it now? And do we see buyers up here, right up here around this 43 3/4? Call it 44. No, we don't. We don't see demand yet. Okay, well, we're going to wait. And then we're going to look for, if we do get demand in here, we're looking for the top of the range here, 46 or 47, and then maybe back up into 50 here. Okay, we're looking for VWAP traders in here. Okay, or reaction off of this level in here. Okay, and we know we already broke it. All right, so now we're looking for more in here, more buyers. Okay, what's the bid look like? Okay, not bad. They're starting to bid up a little bit in here. All right, we're getting our buyers. They're pulling on the offer. All right, buyers, let's see it then. Top of the range up here. Let's see if we can get that first. But we have higher expectations here because of our higher time frame level or this VWAP in here. So now we're getting a pullback. Good. All right. Let's see if we can get back up here now. Or we talked about this curl in here before last week. There it is, right there. We're looking for buyers now here, and let's see if they can take it back up. There's a little bit more. No, not quite enough. It's really up here. There we go. Okay, so now one more. Let's see. One more hit up here. No, not yet. Looking for it to curl around. We got it. It's got to be convincing buying in here. Okay, so instead we just get this quick move like that. It's kind of difficult. Okay, good. Looks good. Now we got it. Let's see it now. Now we're at the top of the range though. But the buyers are starting to come in, so we can look for a pullback then on this, right? Okay, so maybe this is the pullback. Okay, so let's see, do the buyers curl in again? Okay, looking for that now. This is a better setup now. We got our pullback. We found some buyers in here. We found some buyers in here. Okay, it went to the top of that range in here, but we didn't really, it was tricky to find that entry in there. Okay, well, now we just traded back down. Do we get our buyers again? One more push. All right, looking for them. All right, buyers, right here. Let's see now you move it back up to the top of the range, and we've got our trend line here, and then we have our VWAP, anchored VWAP from the top of the swing as well. That's where I'm looking for it to test. Okay, Rob Davis, note how this was kind of tricky to get into this quickly, right? So let's revisit this in here because we can go through a kind of a setups checklist in here as well. Yeah, it's been choppy, like and this was kind of hard to read in here, but we can go through it and we look for a better setup in here. We're looking for those buyers, and we're looking for it to lift it, but it may not happen immediately. So it went back and forth a bunch of times. I thought we were going to miss it here and lose it. We got one more pullback. It's like, okay, great. You know, now we're looking for, when do those buyers curl back in again? And then we did see that happen. And then we were looking for it. Now we're looking for it in here as well. This just happened too quickly. We were looking for it in here as well. This looked actually the best to be honest. But it chopped for a while. It took a while for it to turn around. Okay, so this is where we parlay this into the 1 2 3 pattern. Okay, because this is what we're looking for in the order flow, but it takes a while for this to turn around. Okay, so we get some waves back and forth in here, and that's where we can start to look for our pullbacks in the structure, and then the continuation or the move that we're looking for. That should help with the trade execution. Okay, and now what were we looking for, right? We talked about it, breaking this trend or coming up to this trend line here, and then we had our anchored VWAP up in here. But what else do we have? Okay, look at this level here. Okay, now anchored VWAP or not, if you're using that anchored VWAP, great. It gave a pretty nice pullback here. So maybe there's a lot of traders trading off of that swing now. Seems like it. Okay, we don't really know, but that's the assumption using your anchored VWAP. But look at this in here with the market structure. Okay, you've got a line up here, right here, and that's going to be helpful. Okay, so now you have multiple confluences, or you know that this is where it dropped. We see the retest here. It did not go above it, and it dropped. Now we're looking for, we get a retest back up here, and we have anchored VWAP, and we have our trend line in here. Okay, so now you can look for taking your profits. If you're your anchored VWAP trader and you're starting to look for those sellers to come back in, then this is your sell sign in here as well. Okay, now you can see that it's breaking the VWAP, and then now we're looking for our high liquidity on the bid down here, also 25, where this initiated in here. Looks pretty good. I like it. I see some strong selling in here. Definitely looking for 35 to trade. Let's see if we can also get a pullback in here. Okay, this is pretty strong selling though. So maybe this is all we get for that pullback. Okay, maybe it'll come back up a little bit higher here at around 40. All right, so let's go through the checklist in here. What we were looking for off of VWAP. Now again, it's off of VWAP, and that's your higher time frame level. Oh God, I now that we're seeing the move here, I don't know if we'll maybe come back to that. Still looking for 25. 25 is looking great here. I want to see it spike below it here. I want to see a lot of people getting stopped out down below 25 here. Okay, we have the high liquidity down here at 25. Yeah, you're planning on working on the replay mode. Some kind of breakthrough. Rob, I think the best that I advice, or that's not advice, I don't know, the best insight that I can give is try to keep it really simple and hit singles, so you know exactly what you're looking for. And look at the behavior in the chart. This is what's going to it's not trading the way someone else trades. It's looking at the behavior that you know. Okay, and then put those pieces together. Okay, now we were looking for 25. This came after taking a bad trade. Well, we got stopped out on a really good trade last week on an open range breakout. Okay, and it was upsetting. I was pretty upset, but came back after that, learned, put together some things about okay, opening range breakout trade is what we were covering, and then management. Well, we noted in the management, if you go back and look at these things, like you usually see these pretty harsh retests after 10 o'clock or between 10 and 10:30 or so. And it's like, okay, we're going to factor that in then, right? So then what you can do on your opening range breakout, maybe you're done before 10 o'clock. That's it. You're done, right? There's a lot of stock traders. That's all they do. Let's go through it, in fact. Okay, I keep on digressing away from going through this kind of checklist in here, but let's keep it simple in here, and we'll go through the checklist for opening range trade. Okay, we'll go through Apple here. Now, what did Apple do? All right, here's our 930 cash open. Went to the downside immediately. Now, this is pretty typical as well. That you usually get one move going the opposite way, and then you get the nice bigger opening range move the opposite direction. And then our 10 o'clock, 10:30, then we're looking for the move back down to where it opened from. Right? That's exactly what Apple has done here. Okay, so this jag gets people going the wrong way. This one gets them stopped out, fuels the move to the upside here. And then Rob, this is maybe where you're done up in here. You know, and then you call it a day. And that's your trade. Maybe it's just a suggestion, nothing more than that. Let's look at another one in here. Okay, so you'd just be trading that opening range. Now, you got to put in your higher time frame filters though. Okay, so look at your candlestick charts in here. Your daily, your hourly, your 15-minute, whatever it is that you're using. Okay, look what the price structure has done in here so far. And then we'll continue on in our studies with this opening range. But we talk about this all the time. We came back up and retested the high of the day, and we've sold off. Okay, hourly, we gapped up from the regular trading hours up into the swing high, and now we're back down. Okay, 15-minute chart. Here's our gap. Went through this level here. Went through this selling in here all the way up to here. It did not trade any higher. It tested up here a couple of times. Then we see the sellers come in. And now we see the sellers below the swing for the regular trading hours here. And now we're getting a little bit of a wick in here. So are we looking for this to trade back down here? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, we're going to look for sellers we're going to get our pullback here. We're going to look for sellers to come back in and retrade it back down here and look for it to trade back down into these levels here. Then we're looking for the follow through if we get our sellers here again. All right, now it may come back down here and bounce another time. We'd still look for it again on the sell side for it to fill that gap. All right, we might not get it the first time round. All right, so here it is here. So here's our retest back here. We didn't get it the first time around in Apple. Okay, but we'll look for it again. Right. So anyway, there's your opening range, and there's your market timing, and there's your order flow together. Let's look at Tesla. Okay, 930 cash open. Here's the jag to the downside here, very, very minute, and then pretty strong buying coming back in, looking for, this is a beautiful target up here. Pre-market liquidity right into it, trades through it, retests the backside of it, still goes on up, and trades into high liquidity here, and then here. Never made it to 222 though. Okay, now market timing. Okay, now this made it through 10 o'clock. Made it up just past 10:30. Now we're getting a sell-off. But you said somewhere between 10 and 10:30. AMD. Let's take a look at that. Here's our Jag 930 move to the downside first. Buyers come back in. High liquidity, high liquidity, high liquidity. 10:30 reversal. NVIDIA. You can do this on all of these stocks. Okay, so let's start to put some of these filters back into the trades. Using that replay mode, Rob, another one. Really, I'm really happy to hear you're gonna do that. You're gonna look at replay mode. And go over the weekend. The one thing though is that make sure that try to do the replay mode for the current day. So end of the day today, when you are finished trading, go back and use that replay mode. right? You're going to get so much more out of it because you're going to know about the context of all sorts of other things that are going on in the market. Jack, for example, Coach Jack talks about putting the date on your checklist in your content for the Bookmap Academy. It's a really good idea. Do it because you put the date on there. Now you can go back and like you understand maybe just a little bit more context of what's going on. Okay, it won't give you that mindset of what's going on that day, but it will help. It will help more, and you might remember that day. Let's see. Yeah, slow down. Let's see here. I didn't get to this. Okay, data or power hour. One thing I found useful in case anyone is interested, use the calendar pop-up on a computer to remind you of average ranges. Yeah, this is great. Okay. Yeah, slow down. You mind if I show that over on YouTube? Guys, over on YouTube, you might want to come over to the Discord channel. This is the kind of conversations we're having over here. It's pretty good stuff. Where can you find the checklist? I just showed that rainy days here in configure add-ons, and then you should see it in here. Where is it? Here, setups checklist right here. Okay, and then just check the box and it'll pop up. Okay, Microsoft did the same type of thing. The very weak here in Microsoft though, as you guys can see. The move to the downside. Here's the opening range breakout trade. I mean, basically past 10 o'clock here, all it did was come back up to where it opened from and then sold off pretty hard here. So Microsoft very weak compared to those other stocks. Okay, but the patterns are there. All right. Now, where I think, conversations in the Bookmap Academy meetings that we've had, and guys, if over on YouTube, if you're interested, just come on Thursdays, and you can apply for that academy and join. It's free. You can even use the Bookmap free version if you want. So the whole thing would be free. But likely you're going to have to subscribe to Bookmap to create some content. But you're going to get coached, you're going to get mentored on it. Just go to the more button here, Bookmap Academy, and then you can read through it here. Okay, and then come over to the Bookmap Academy Discord chat room, and then this is what we're covering in there, and this is what our conversations we're going through in here. Okay, so yeah, thanks. Slow down. This is what I'm talking about here. He just put this together, and he's looking at the context with point ranges for the ES in here. Right. So this is really interesting stuff. Like you're looking at these ranges in here and understanding these moves in here. Look at 9.5 point, 10 point, 11 point, like somewhere between on the average. Somewhere between like 9 to 11 points. Why is that? Well, it's how that market moves. It's how many buyers or sellers are behind it and how much market breadth it has. This is why understanding opening ranges, or even like we can even look at ranges of looking at economic data. Now, this is a little different for your 10 a.m., but how much did this move? From 25 on up to 50, so 25 points. That's a pretty big move, pretty quickly. So understanding though, like you can mix even do your data studies, like CPI data. How much does it move on average? And you can start to justify that, and that would also work with some of the studies that Slowdown is doing. All right, guys. So anyway, let's take a look at this now. This is getting interesting. Okay, so now let's suppose you are a VWAP trader or anchored VWAP trader. Here, beautiful. Right off of it, we were looking for the pullback into it. Okay, and we weren't necessarily looking for those sellers to come in. I was actually looking for just the move back up into this area here for first steps. Second step, maybe can come up a bit higher. Nope, exhausted out, lots of selling through VWAP down to our 25 level, even through it down here, down into 15, and then now look at us trading back to VWAP here. There's your trade off of your anchored VWAP. Traders are still making, some traders, it looks like, are making decisions off of that level. Now, this is where I have a hard time with lines on a chart. Take the heat map off here. Lines on a chart, yeah, okay, oh, beautiful. Like, you know, I've got VWAP, a cluster of VWAPs here, your daily as well as your anchored VWAP from the high swing. And that can justify this. Just make sure you go and study it. However, let's look at the order flow around that area. This is where it dropped heavily. And we see high liquidity. Well, it dropped a little bit higher up here, but we see that high liquidity. Okay, it makes sense that we trade back into these levels in here. Mix that together with your VWAPs, your other studies, and you've got something. Okay? It's about that context of understanding the order flow. You've got it here in Bookmap, so why not use it? And then if you're your VWAP trader, then you would be short in this area. Someone like Robert Rother, he probably already took profit on this. Yeah, he probably already took profit on this. I'm sure that's like a 5-point move for him. I think he's even looking for less than that on the ES. And he's then looking for his next trade. Yeah, exactly. Manage your expectations. That's beautiful stuff to hear. Slow down. That's it. It's like, what are your expectations? Well, you just observed it. Now you have a lot of good insight to what those expectations are in a price movement. Exactly. You know, slow down. Another study that you might want to consider is looking at your market internals. Okay, on those price moves. I don't want to add too much into it, but like consider looking at your tick chart, your ticky, whatever it is, on the, you know, your advancers, decliners, whatever. Because those market internals, you know, there's a reason why you know, people look at them. It's understanding, you know, the market breadth. Okay, Robert Rother trades a 9-9 bracket. Okay, a 9 tick for the ES. Alois, I think it's 9. It would be 9 ticks. Maybe, I don't think it's 9 points. It's a pretty big move off of this VWAP. 9 ticks. Yeah. So he's looking for just over 2-point move. That's it. And there you go. Like, Rob, consider that he's only looking for 9 ticks, but then he's reloading and looking for the next one. And that's all he's doing. He's doing it many times a day. So he's just hitting singles. He's all in and he's all out. And it looks like if it's 9-9, that means that his stop loss is also 9 ticks. Is that right, Alois? So it's 1-to-1 is all he's looking for. 1-to-1 risk reward. But he's hitting it like how many times, you know, like you know, the win-loss ratio. And he's also playing it very differently. Scott Pulcini as well. They're playing it differently, and trading these kind of, you know, I mean, these guys are, experienced professional traders with some institutional background. And why are they trading like that? Well, they're using these funded accounts, and you have to kind of turn maybe your trading style a little bit upside down because of the way that those funded trading payouts work. Okay, so just hitting singles, having it go for you all those times, like you're going to build like a really good strong account. Okay, instead of looking for this big 10, 15 point move in the S&P. Okay, here we go. Here's a test up here. Here's exhaustion off of that VWAP, looking for the sellers, and then try to get your 9 points out of it here. So you'd probably be in here and at 35.50. So you'd be looking for 32.50 down here. Okay, that's it. That's all you're looking for. 32.25 maybe. So right here at this swing. Now, this is where you can also get into the minutia of your a very simple trading strategy here. Okay, here's the selling below it. That looks pretty good, but it's hacking around this area now, and now we're making higher lows in here. Okay, are you going to take this every single time? I would get stopped out here at break even, and that's it. Because what's this context now look like? Okay, the first test is always the best. Okay, here it is here. It's a beauty. All right, here's the next test. You would have also profited here according to his methods. Okay, here's the next one. You might have almost just profited. You probably didn't, and you would have been stopped out at break even. Or maybe you took a full stop. I don't know. Okay, but let's read this in here. Okay, sellers, great, but there's still buying pressure. There's still time and acceptance in this area, and it's tested now VWAP third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time it broke. So this trade is done. Right now, maybe like we'll see it work out, and maybe they reload off of it. Maybe we have to draw another anchored VWAP at that point. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know exactly what the strategy is. All I know is, like, if I was doing an anchored VWAP strategy in here, I would be looking for now and redrawing another VWAP. Okay, unless there's a ton of selling off of this, then this is just hacking around the VWAP and anchored VWAP here. And I know that sellers are coming back in again. If they do come in again, I would redraw it, and we got to move back down to here on that sell side. I would redraw another anchored VWAP here. And I would look for pullbacks to that, and then continuation. All right, hope that makes sense. Guys over in YouTube, if you can hit the like button, please. If you like this kind of education, we're gonna get more and more in depth here regarding a lot of these different setups and going through them and looking for the order flow to support them. Okay, now this is the all markets webinar. We will look at many markets. We will also look at many different setups. As you can tell, we've already gone through several. Okay, talking about time of day and order flow, talking about VWAP, anchored VWAP, market structure, and opening drives, opening ranges, etc. So we've already talked about a lot of them, and that's our goal, in fact, is to go through a lot of different ideas and look at the order flow around those ideas. Right, and then what that means is if you come to our Discord channel, you can click on book or go to bookmap.com and click on education here, and then scroll down a bit. These are all our live streaming events in here, and our educators and traders. And look at our calendar here. Okay, so the Bruce All Markets webinar here, which we'll probably rebrand soon. I keep on saying that, but is a foundation on order flow, understanding what makes the market move, the behavior. I'm not going over a specific style of trading. We're going to go over many different styles, so it sets up you to understand maybe how JTrader is trading, stocks, large caps, maybe how Scott Pulcini is trading off of stops and icebergs, maybe how Doug is trading off of options, and how Tom B is trading off of volume profile. Put those pieces together. Okay, now look what happened here. All right, so I'm going to draw another anchored VWAP here, and we're going to go over an anchored VWAP study here. Okay, so we're getting a reaction off of VWAP here. Okay, let's look at a pullback now. First pullback should be the best. Okay, so let's see. That's it right here. Okay, at 31. Okay, didn't even touch it here. Instead, it came back to the market structure area so far. Yeah, let's take a position off of it, just for kicks. I just missed it. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, you got to be quick. This is all you got. Now, if it comes back up and tags this VWAP here, I don't know how interested I am now, because I want to see follow through in here, right? I know that there is kind of a range around that VWAP or anchored VWAP in here. This to me is showing that well, you know, I'm not finding a lot of. We're finding sellers react to it here, but am I finding sellers react to it off of in here? Not really, right? So I would shy away from this one here, unless we see ton of selling back here at 30, okay, through that anchored VWAP. Okay, because right now we're getting our pullback in here. Well, according to anchored VWAP study, the pullback in here to the anchored VWAP is what a larger trader is looking for getting more size on. Okay, well, did he get more size on in here? Nope. So maybe this line is BS, you know. Maybe this is not the right one to draw. Yeah, I hesitate to. I can see slow down. You're going through your anchored VWAP and just kind of flirting with this idea and playing around with it. The problem that I have with the anchored VWAP is again, it's a line on a chart, and we need to justify it. Just a line on a chart is not enough. And you're not using it. Yeah. Okay, so see how this kept us. We would have gotten in. I was looking to get involved in here and maybe trade it down to this liquidity. Maybe we get. I'm looking for it to trade back down to 20 if we can get that. Well, we avoided it here. The anchored VWAP, this line here, well, they're not reacting off of it. Okay, so we can get rid of that one. So let's go back to our anchored VWAP in here, that was a little too lofty of an idea in here, so we'll delete it. All right, guys, let's see. Over in YouTube, we're going to continue the discussion over in Discord. So if you want to join us on Discord, let me give you the link in here. I don't know if Dan is in here. He has the link. Oh, I know where you can get it, right off of bookmap.com. And go to our Discord here, community Discord chat room, and I'll copy the link here, and that should take you into it. Yeah, that'll do it. All right, so that's how you can get there if you want, and I'll put this into the chat for you as well. Oh, thank you, Stephen. He's already done it. Excellent. All right. All right, guys. So yeah, thanks over on YouTube. We'll continue on over and hit the like button, please. Leave a comment or two if you like this, and then come over and join us in Discord. Okay. Yep. Thanks. Bye bye.